Lilo and Stitch is the next live-action remake from Disney's own animated, beloved movie classic, eventually remaking all the beloved classics because Disney hates us, or the past few generations of Disney fans, or because they want to repackage Stitch toys for money. How crazy is it that there's a live-action Moana coming out? They've pretty much caught up with themselves making live-action versions of their animated films, and will eventually have to make an live-action movie along with the animated version of their new concepts or ideas. So does the live-action live up to the original animated version, or are we back to the same live-action mess we're always in? Lilo and Stitch is directed by Dean Fleischer-Camp, a somewhat first-time director, and the movie is closely based on Chris Sanders' story, who also voices Stitch, and in the original. Sanders is also known for writing films like The Wild Robot and How to Train Your Dragon. The film stars Maia Kealoha as Lilo, who has lost her mom and dad and has to live with her sister Nani, played by Sydney Ogdong. Nani is tasked with being Lilo's guardian while doing her best to keep a job and pay the bills, and being hounded by Miss Kikoa, Lilo's social worker, played by the original voice of Nani in the animated film Tia Carrera, not Mr. Cobra Bubbles like in the original. While Lilo wishes on a star for a friend, Stitch crashes to the island of Kauai, where the two meet and become fast friends, as her new dog, all while being hunted down by two aliens, Pleakley and Jumba, played by Billy Magnuson and Zach Galifianakis. The story follows Sanders' story pretty close for the most part, but there are a few scenes and, of course, characters that change it up a bit. I watched the original right before seeing the live-action version to refresh my memory again, and I have to say it's been a while, and I forgot how great the animated movie was. So I was kind of bummed that I had to see this live-action remake. That movie had a lot of heart and was really funny, and honestly, the remake makes a strong start in the right direction following the original story, but then it takes a few turns and changes a few things that made the original so great, which I didn't understand. I get trying to write in new characters and change a few things up to make it feel fresh for the new generation, but you're using old material anyway. Why not just keep it the same? All the changes really hurt the story in my opinion. Like, why would you ever get rid of Mr. Bubbles as a social worker?
In case you're wondering, this did not go well.
They do keep him in the movie as a CIA agent looking for aliens, but they totally ruined the joke in the first film of him being this tough, scary dude who doesn't look anything like a social worker with Cobra tattooed on his knuckles. That was the gag. He looks like a CIA agent, and he was ex-CIA, but now he's a child social worker. It was ironic and funny, and at the end, kind of sweet. And honestly, I love Courtney B. Vance, but they should have gotten Ving Rhames, the voice of the original Mr. Bubbles. He even has this big physique of Mr. Bubbles in like he does in the animated version. He would have been perfect. But no, you put in Tia Carrera as a social worker as a cameo? It's a huge missed opportunity. I mean, what were you thinking? I just saw Ving Rhames in Mission Impossible. He's great. Same with Billy Magnuson as Pleakley and Zach Galifianakis as Jumba, which in the animated movie, they were funny because they were obviously aliens dressed up as humans, which was really funny and again, ironic. But in this film, they have human body disguises for most of the film that take away from the comedy of the first film. All of this works better as an animated film. And Kevin McDonald was so iconic as Pleakley, I think he could have pulled it off in this version. Jumba in the original has this thick, I guess, Russian accent, but Zach Galifianakis just does a boring version of Zach Galifianakis. The way they did these two characters in this live-action film felt very downgraded from the original. And if you're gonna make a remake of a film, especially a live-action remake of an animated movie, the goal is to upscale everything, right? There are characters who are even missing in this film that it just doesn't make any sense. Why would you get rid of some of these characters? I did really enjoy Maia Kealoha as Lilo in the film. She was really cute and fun to watch and does a great job as the character. But she was missing a piece of Lilo that wasn't written in the script for this version. Like, they were afraid to go certain places that the original film didn't mind going.
My friends need to be punished.
Like the scene where she attacks another child, knocking her to the ground and hitting her, and at one point even biting her. Which, yeah, when I saw it during my rewatch, it kind of caught me off guard and by surprise, but it was pretty funny, and it showed how sort of messed up Lilo is after losing her parents. In this version, she just kind of pushes her down. There's no real threat, not a big surprise. This film waters down everything about the original and sort of rushes everything, which is strange because this version is longer than the original, and it felt a lot longer. The original had such a better flow and structure to it. There's a lot of cameos from the original film, like Jason Lee, who plays Nani's boss, Amy Hill, who plays Nani and Lilo's neighbor, and of course Tia Carrera, and Chris Saunders as the voice of Stitch again, which is great, I guess, but if you didn't know them in the original because they're just voicing these characters, it doesn't really matter here, especially to young kids. It's not like seeing Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth in Wicked, and they gave you this whole new song in the film just for them. You knew who they were, and the cameo was much more meaningful for the fans. I do have to say that I enjoy Stitch. His CGI model looks actually pretty great, and his movements in all the scenes were a lot of fun. And again, Chris Sanders coming back as Stitch is the reason this film has fun to it. But the film suffers because the animated film gets away with things that really don't work in live action, like Stitch in an Elvis costume, or, again, aliens in wigs that obviously look like aliens. And they left so many great funny lines out of the film, like the scene where they go to the animal shelter, which is, in this version, Nani isn't even there. But the line in the animated version about Stitch being dead after being hit by a bus, it's not there either.
What is that thing? A dog, I think. But it was dead this morning. It was dead this morning?
And replaced by really boring dialogue. And they do that all throughout this film, over and over again. Changing things that don't need to be changed and keep things that really could have changed if they wanted to, I guess. Like the record scene, when Lilo shows Nani that Stitch can play a record with his finger and the sound comes out of his mouth. In the animated feature, she has a look of shock and confusion, but in this version, she just doesn't even look at what's going on. The changes to this film were so bad. The heart of the story is still there, and it's sweet. I love the story of someone who wasn't a great person in the past being able to change and not being defined by the past, and the idea of family not being left behind no matter what. But again, the original film had so much more of that. The heart of the film is so watered down here. The way they approached Lilo being separated from Nani frustrated me. They just need to stop making these things. I don't know why this is happening. You don't see studios making animated films from live action movies, do you? I mean, would you want to see an animated version of Die Hard or Rocky or Back to the Future? No, because there's no reason to. Just like there is absolutely no reason to make a live action film of an already perfect animated film. You're basically saying that you're fixing the film by making it live action and that animation is inferior, which is so not the case. The art of the animation is so incredible. If you watch the way the characters move through the scene in the animated movie, it has so much more life, and the movements are part of the characters and part of their personality. The bright, beautiful colors are great. There's so much more about the animation that is far superior to this live action. Look, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed a lot of it for the most part, and if the animated version didn't exist, this would be a much better film. Not great, but better. It's great for kids, and I'm sure they'll love it, but if you grew up on the original, well, I don't think it compares in comparison. Lilo and Stitch is an okay version of the original, and it is one of the better live-action remakes of a Disney classic animated feature. But it waters down already great material and is a film that could have been pretty great if it stuck to the original stuff. The changes it made were so unnecessary and dulls the film so much. You do get a great performance from Kealoha and Sanders coming back as Stitch, and the CGI for the film was pretty fun. There's a lot of missed opportunities to make this live-action remake a great film, and that's why I'm giving Lilo and Stitch 2 stars out of 5 for all these reasons. It's rated PG for action, peril, and thematic themes and some crude humor, but safe for the whole family. So more importantly, I want to know what your take is on this live-action remake. Do you personally enjoy these movies? Am I the only one who is just over this money grab method? I really want to know your view on these remakes. Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you if you already have. I love that you're here. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
Oh, I'm gonna stuff you in the blender, push puree, then bake you into a pie and feed it to the social worker. And when he says, this is great, what's your secret? I'm gonna say, love.